Thank you for watching PATV. What we do here has been made possible in part by community residents and organizations using our facility and equipment to create original programming. Come visit, take a tour, and get involved.
Welcome to Access Spotlight. I'm Shirley Ann Bruno, your host for today's program and the former executive director of PATV. Access Spotlight is a series of programs in which we interview our neighbors who are doing unique and interesting things in our community. My guest today is Robert Schaufeld, a lawyer and resident of the village of Thomaston, with whom I've had the pleasure of working with at Public Access since 2002. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you, Shirley. I'm happy to be here.
How long have you lived in Great Neck, and why did you choose Great Neck?
Well, I first moved to Great Neck in 1987 when a friend gave me her apartment, and I lived on Knightsbridge Road. I lived there until I became engaged to my wife, at which time I moved in with her in New York City, and then we moved back to Great Neck in 1991.
Okay. Why Great Neck?
Initially, I moved to Great Neck because there were a lot of young people in the area. I had friends in the area, and it was an easy commute to the city, and it was a fun area. There were lots of restaurants and things to do.
Okay. And you that was your first home or an apartment?
That was an apartment.
And by deciding to purchase a home with your wife, Karen, why would you pick Great Neck over Roslyn or Syosset or?
Well, we were very impressed with the area. We thought that the school district was amazing, the parks, the shopping, the restaurants. It was an ideal place to live, and it was a very easy commute into the city.
Now, that was before you had your dear, sweet daughter, Emmy.
Yes.
And Emily was very involved in so many organizations here in Great Neck. How did you feel about that? Was something that you were surprised about or happy about?
Well, seeing Emmy involved in all of these different things made us realize that Great Neck was the perfect place for her to grow up, because she was very interested in theater, television, acting, and comedy. So she was involved with Levels. She was an intern and a volunteer at Public Access, starting from 6th grade. And she was actively involved with theater at Great Neck South, and she was in the improv troupe at Great Neck South when she was a sophomore. So she was very active in a lot of different things, all focusing around creative arts.
So it was the right choice.
Yes, we can't think of any other community that offers all of the different things in such easy access. She really enjoyed being involved in everything.
Yeah, it's wonderful what the children are exposed to here. But now Emmy is all grown up, and where did she go to college?
Emmy went to the Tisch School at New York University, where she studied film and television.
So she got all her basic skills here in the Great Neck schools.
Yes.
So you got to see what the schools as an organization does, and this organization, and the library. So now, that I believe, led you to volunteer for various community organizations. What are those organizations you're involved with?
I'm currently the president of the Great Neck Library. I'm the president of Public Access Television. I'm the vice chairman of the Great Neck North Shore Cable Commission. I am on the board of directors of the Great Neck Historical Society, and I'm on the Village of Thomaston Design Review Board.
And you work as a lawyer. Where do you get the time?
When I have time, I'm general counsel for a real estate developer in New York City, and I have a private practice in Great Neck.
Well, the boards are certainly fortunate to have a lawyer on their boards, because we all know we all need that on all the organizations. What motivated you? Your job is very busy, but to get involved in giving community service in Great Neck. What's your motivation?
Well, it all started out with the Village of Thomaston. I was originally on the Roads Committee, and then I was appointed to the Design Review Board. And I asked the mayor one day if he would consider appointing me as the village justice if the position ever became available again. And he said, I see that you're involved, but you need to be more involved. So after you pay your dues, we'll see what we can do. And he said there was this board that I was involved with. I don't exactly know what they do, and I need somebody to fill in the spot for me. And I said, well, Mayor, whatever you need, I'm willing to do it. The next thing I knew, I was at a meeting at the Public Access Television, and 16 years has gone very quickly, and I felt when I first started that I didn't know anything, and all of the people there had so much experience, and I was awestruck by what they did and how much they knew. And now new people join the board, and they look at me like I am the old man, and they seek my advice.
That's true. We need your advice. You've been through a lot of the ups and downs and franchise renewals too. Now, besides being president of Public Access, you're president of the Great Neck Library.
Yes.
Why don't you give us a little update about the Great Neck Library? What's been going on there?
Well, when I was first elected to the Great Neck Library, the day after my election, the library closed for renovation.
Oh, wow.
And was closed for the next 2 years. So my first 2 years on the board, we were very involved with making sure that the construction was done properly, dealing with change orders, dealing with everything as it came along, and making sure that everything was done properly. After we moved back into the renovated building, several months after that, I was elected president, and the focus changed from getting the building completed to getting everything in the building to work properly and get the staff acclimated to be back in the library. And that's what we've been doing for the past almost 2 years.
And you also are involved in hiring the director.
Yes.
And so we have a new director.
Yes, we have a new director that started effective this past February.
And what do you think? Will it work out?
I think that we have been tremendously fortunate to hire Denise Corcoran. She has been everything that the public has been waiting for years. She understands how to run a multi-branch library. She's very skilled with personnel, acquisitions, and she's a tremendous leader. And we are so fortunate that she saw fit to come work for us.
It's great. And it's a given fact that experience helps. to, and is the key factor with having an organization run correctly, in my opinion.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, it certainly is a proven fact that it's your interest and care about our library and a dedication that made you take on this extra position as a volunteer. What are some of the other organizations that you are on their boards, you said?
Well, I'm on the board of directors of the Great Neck Historical Society.
And what are they working on right now?
Well, the Great Neck Historical Society has an aim to preserve and protect the historical elements of the peninsula and Great Neck in particular. Mm-hmm. And in addition to identifying and having plaques put on various houses and buildings, mm-hmm. they have some larger projects that they're involved with. Their primary project now, which they're doing in partnership with the town of North Hempstead, is to raise money to preserve the Stepping Stones Lighthouse so that ultimately it can be renovated and used as a teaching facility. That they're also trying to raise money for the Saddle Rock grist mill, which had fallen into disrepair over the years, especially after Hurricane Sandy.
Sure. So you are also on two organizations regarding cable TV, Public Access TV Corporation, and the Great Neck North Shore Cable Commission. How are they different?
Well, the Cable Commission is an organization comprised of representatives from 15 different villages, 9 villages in Great Neck and 6 villages in the Manhasset area. Public Access TV has its own studio facilities, and it's open for any residents in our villages to produce and create TV programming. And Public Access also has professionals which create and produce programming on its own. We're seen on 2 cable networks. We're on Altice, which was formerly Cablevision, and Verizon.
Well, last March, the cable franchises, the current ones, expired. And both Verizon and Altice have operating authority granted to continue on by the New York State Public Service Commission. And the commission is working towards franchise renewal. What are some of the items that we are working on in the negotiation with the commission?
The schools, as well as Public Access, are looking to get first additional bandwidth so that we can broadcast in high definition. In addition, we're hoping to see on the cable schedule that's part of what's shown what the actual programming is.
Right, and I know you're also working with the library to get them back onto their channel, Great Neck Library,
yes,
and get programs.
The wiring has been installed, and we're just waiting for equipment to be delivered so that the Great Neck Library can again broadcast.
Well, certainly I know the commission, we want in our franchise what other communities have, especially the communities in Manhattan and Queens and the Bronx, which already are getting HD cablecast abilities. So I know even though we're smaller than these areas, we need our board to certainly negotiate that for our area. There will be a public hearing, as in the past, and where the community is invited to come and make some comments, and there'll be representatives from the cable company and of course our commission. What are the things that the Cable Commission cannot regulate by law?
Well, we have no say on the commercial programming or the fees that are charged by the cable providers. All we can do is ensure the quality of the service. So if there are service outages, if there are areas where service is not available, those are things that we can get involved with.
I think it's important for our community to know that. And we're also, there will be an email shown in this program, gnscommission@gmail.com, for anybody out there who wants to send their questions or comments about the franchise, so we can take some of that input. So that hopefully we'll get to know what the community is interested in addition to the public hearing. And they really, I think the community should look at the local papers and the website for public access TV to see what's going on. We have worked together with public access and the commission for, as I said, 2002. We've seen a lot of ups and downs. I'm still amazed at how you have the time to work on all these. Plus, I know you help your wife, Karen Schaufeld, who's also very involved. What are some things that she's working on in our community, for our community?
Well, presently she is a president of the Lulav chapter of Hadassah, and they are active with fundraising. She's also newly appointed to the board of the Great Neck Student Aid Fund.
You are definitely the dynamic duo in our community. You're so busy. Do you get time to see each other? It's hard.
Occasionally.
Well, Bob, I cannot believe how this time has gone so quickly. I want to thank you for your commitment to our community. Our community needs dedicated people, and I hope more people come out and get involved in the different organizations, and I thank you for your involvement and commitment. It's, for me, a pleasure to work with you for all these years. So thank you for coming, and I want to thank our audience for watching PATV, and again, please email the commission at the address that you will see on the screen, and keep tuning in to PATV. Thank you.
Thank you for watching PATV. What we do here has been made possible in part by community residents and organizations using our facility and equipment to create original programming. Come visit, take a tour, and get involved.